Welcome to the LFG Pats Pod with your hosts, Joe and Mike. Let's go!
Yeah.
All right, boys. Welcome into the LFG Pats Pod. This is episode 31, and we're bringing the boys. We're bringing all the boys together. We got Brycen. We got PatsPro. Welcome aboard, guys. How you feeling?
Well, I feel great. I don't know about PatsPro, but I mean, we just did the podcast before the podcast, so I'm ready to do it again after hearing the intro. Thanks for having me on.
It's a good intro. It's a good intro.
You can curse all you want, boy.
I'm fucking juiced to be on the pod. Very happy. We were just doing the podcast before the podcast, but we're going to do it again because it was so damn good.
I love it. I love it. And we have some late breaking news, some trades. We got some trade rumors, a lot of juicy stuff to talk about, boys. Before we get into that, though, quick, we're going to talk about the sponsors real quick. So we got Rogue Island Kitchen and Bar. If you guys were at our event, it was a smash hit. We beat the Bills. We had all kinds of good food. We're going to do it again, by the way. We're going to go back to Rogue Island. We're going to invite as many people as we can, other podcasts.
When we make the playoffs.
Because now everyone's saying, look, we had this event and we beat the Bills. We kind of have to do this for the playoffs.
Get that juju going.
So we got the juju going in the right direction. So that's good. Rogue Island Kitchen and Bar. It's in Providence, Rhode Island. Some of the best food in Providence. I know Boston, everyone loves the North End. I do too, but Providence has some great spots.
Providence has the best Italian food in the world. As a Rhode Island resident, I can
Federal
say that.
Hill, forget it. You
can
just keep naming places up and down that street over there.
R.I.P. the old canteen.
Hell yeah, the old canteen with the pink chairs and that old carpet they have.
And now
50s.
It's Wally's Wieners. For crying out loud. I heard they have good wieners.
They probably do, but they don't have
Sal
that
Marzulli
chicken
was
parm. They don't have, the classic dishes.
It was an institution. It was an institution.
I know. So, Rogue Island Kitchen and Bar, check that out. Our other sponsor is Horizon HVAC. If anyone has ever had their HVAC, condenser, your air handlers, all this stuff worked on, I had in like 6 or 7 years, my shit was all gunked up. My AC was bogged down. Now I get the heat on sometimes because my wife gets cold. It's all working pristine, boys. Go get your stuff checked out. If you haven't, they have a plan. It's $250. That's their, I think, silver package. It gets them out there once a year. They'll check out all your stuff, clean out everything. It's great. Mike Cesaroni, he's actually opening up a podcast studio. So he might be actually recording over there at some point. It's in Pawtucket. So, Horizon HVAC, Mike Cesaroni, give him a call, get one of their plans, have them come out. Check out your stuff. You never know what they're going to find. So two guys were traded today. We have Kyle Duggar trade. To me, it's a salary dump. It's you got something for it. We've been hearing about Kyle Duggar on the trade block for a long time. And then you got Keon White. So we got our depth safety and not really depth. I don't know. Keon White was kind of phased out. What do you think, Mike?
Well, we got rid of two guys that clearly don't fit the system for what they're trying to do. Kyle Duggar is a box safety who can't cover tight ends, and Keon White is a tweener, which he's too big to play on the outside and too small to play on the inside in this particular defense because they're running it's a 3-4. I like to call it a 5-2, but it's a 3-4 with your 3 down linemen and then your 2 edge guys, your 2 linebackers, then your secondary. And there was no place to put him in that. He doesn't have a clear defined role there. So it's a good thing to give him a fresh start somewhere, but we're just a little bit disappointed about the return. And, it's been mentioned that it's because there just simply wasn't a market for the guy, which is probably true, but it's just, I would have liked a little more for a guy that was a second round pick a couple of years ago. And as far as Duggar goes, we're looking at not a scheme fit, first of all, but also a salary dump. So you just looked up the numbers, and we're saving $15 million on the cap.
12 and a half. I think it's 12 and a half.
12 and a half.
We'll see what Spot Rack comes out with because you never know the contract details, what we're going to eat, what we're going to.
So not only
it's 12 and a half.
We had the most cap space in the league. Now we have even more cap space right now for this year and next year. We can re-sign all the guys we need to re-sign, go out and get free agencies if we want to. But I mean, they put themselves in a good position here.
Brycen, what do you think, buddy?
Well, first of all, you just mentioned the Pats cap. I mean, how do you guys even begin to understand what the number is when there's no one on Twitter telling us what the Pats cap number is? That's a deep cut joke for everyone that doesn't understand. But yeah, I mean, Kyle Duggar, Keon White. I mean, that's a very nice way to put it there. But like at the end of the day, they just don't want to pay money for these guys because they haven't been playing very good. And I mean, to start the podcast off strong and just to like rib everyone here, especially PatsPro, but Keon White looks really good when he's playing against Will Campbell, right, PatsPro?
Listen, all right, it was one practice. You know it was one practice, and he fell down the fucking depth chart like he fell off Mount Everest. So I don't want to hear it. Okay,
All right, I'm sorry.
Will Campbell was the pick. You know he was the pick. You saw the one-on-ones versus Myles Garrett. You saw them.
Yeah,
You hit a soft spot, Brycen. You hit a soft spot.
Yeah, I mean, you got to get it started somewhere. I mean, I got to rib PatsPro a little bit. I'm just
absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, look, we all love the aura that Keon White brings, but at the end of the day, it's just like he always starts off extremely strong, whether it be in July or August, September, and then he fades away. That's kind of been the tale of like I just actually looked up my tweets from recent years because I was like, I wonder what I actually was saying about Keon White in 2023, 2024, and it was like September, he is an All-Pro. And like you didn't hear anything else after September. So
yeah.
I mean, it is what it is. Like they're just cutting these guys. And I actually think that there's like a mild chance that they could actually just be making a little bit of room here and just to keep their options open, you know.
What did Mike say over there?
In comes
So
Rodnick
Mike
as
said,
usual.
yeah, Rodnick with the Holy All-Star cast, Batman. I like that. And then what's your take? Safety or edge priority? I know you said there might be making some room, Brycen. What do you think? What do you think we go after? A safety or an edge or somewhere else?
One of the reporters, see, I don't know them all by name because I don't care that much. One of the national reporters was giving his dark horse people that, you know, someone could trade for. And one of them was Jeff Simmons, which I just talked about that a couple weeks ago in one of my articles. Keep an eye out on, I think he's hurt right now, actually. But I mean, I think that is a dark horse because I think that Jeff Simmons actually just wants to be traded to a good team. And you can kind of see that. So it's one of those like, is it a great chance? No, definitely not. That's how it is with all of these players that are really good, right? The team wants to keep the good player. That's why they just got rid of Keon White. He's not very good. And we want Jeff Simmons. But I have heard some rumblings about Jeff Simmons and the Patriots from multiple people. And Mike Vrabel has actually said that they still talk. And I don't know if they talk like during the season, but they're still personal friends, I suppose, based on what I heard from Mike Vrabel. So there's a relationship there. What would they have to give up? What would it look like? I mean, we did just see Barmore get benched. We just talked about it before the podcast. Who knows what that was about? But I'm not saying that they could just trade him straight up, but there's like a small chance because Jeff Simmons is one of those players in the league that he's awesome, and he's a player that you trade for. And imagine their defensive line with Jeff Simmons. But
he's a game wreck. He's a game wrecker, and he would want to play for us in a New York minute. If Mike Vrabel called his agent and said, "Get this guy over here," the guy would drop everything he's doing to come and play for Mike Vrabel again.
I think he does. I think he does. Based on what I've heard, that we're one of the three teams that he'd want to play for. It's just a matter of if the Titans would actually want to move him or not. You know.
They got nothing to lose.
They've got a lot of losing coming.
Listen,
exactly.
What do you think, PatsPro? What do you think? Give us your take on it.
All I'm saying here is that going from 1-6 to or whatever it is, 6-2. Math, it's hard. 1-7, 6-2. Going from negative to positive makes an Achilles feel real nice. That's what I heard.
It does.
Or whatever
therapy.
It was that was hurting. It's the best therapy. Winning cures all. I will say that I may or may not have heard the name Jeff Simmons a time or two. I don't know if the Titans are willing to let him go because he's 28 years old and in the prime of his career, and they still, are under the delusion of grandeur that Cam Ward is going to be the next coming of Ryan Tannehill. But I don't see it, but maybe you never know. I mean, Brycen makes a great point. Barmore's kind of a dink sometimes. And maybe he stayed out too late, missed curfew. Who knows? Maybe, I don't know. These are just some things that I'm speculating on, and I have been known to speculate if anyone's known me for long enough.
Well, the thing I just noticed, we got a comment that the Titans don't seem willing to make trades with the Patriots. And when you think about it on its face, it makes perfect sense, because I've been complaining about Amy Adams Strunk, the owner of the Titans, and how she botched and manipulated that team and caused Vrabel's exodus. So why would she want to? Like, all she wants
do
is
any favors.
all she wants to do is look that set that guy up for failure. So why is she going to sign off on that trade? So it makes it a longer shot, but I hadn't really considered it until I saw that comment. But it's actually a pretty valid one.
Well, listen, Amy Adams Strunk is probably on par the worst owner in the league. I mean,
Absolutely.
Woody Johnson's up there, but Amy Adams Strunk is, for my money, the worst owner in the league. I would not put
And Jerry
anything
Jones,
past
those three guys.
At least Jerry's done something in the past 50 years.
Yeah.
All I'm saying is that she's never around. She just relies on her little birds to whisper in her ear like she's Varys in Game of Thrones.
Like the Game of Thrones reference.
Listen, I try to make him as often as possible. Season 8 sucked. But so I mean, it's just, she's not in the day-to-day. She doesn't care. And she's, again, living under delusions of grandeur. They purposely didn't trade Jarvis Brownlee to the Pats. That's true. That is very true, Big Pats guy. By the way, shout out Big Pats guy. He was like one of the dudes who retweeted me back in the day when I was first starting out. So shout out him.
We appreciate him coming on. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
But yeah, so it's just I don't think it'll happen. I would really like it to happen because I really like Jeffrey Simmons as a player. Another guy that I'd look at, though, that on a team that's kind of just sinking is Kayvon Thibodeau. They kind of have a glut of pass rushing talent.
I've been saying that for a while.
I'm sorry.
Or Burns. I don't think they're going to give up Burns.
No, they're not going to give up Brian Burns after the trade they pulled off for him and the money they gave him. But Kayvon Thibodeau, I mean, is he a top tier guy? No. But I think he's on par or a little bit better than what you have, and you're kind of limited at that position.
I think he would be a perfect fit for this defense. 100%. It's just a matter of, are they actually really trying to move him right now? You don't know about that. And what are they going to want in return? I'm not giving up a first round pick for him.
Listen, so I've got 4 6th round picks sitting here just waiting. Okay, I got ammo.
You know what I want to see, boys, and it's definitely a pipe dream, and it's probably not going to happen, but there was a lot of whispering, a lot of hugging with Vrabel and Myles Garrett. Now, I know that's a massive blockbuster.
This is Joe's pipe dream.
But if you're the Browns, right, you just fleeced the Jaguars, right? You traded that pick, or you traded that pick for, they got Travis Hunter. You fleeced them for all those picks. You got all this gluttony of picks. Wouldn't you want to get some more? Wouldn't you want to go grab some more? You have no chance. You're basically wasting Myles Garrett. You might as well cash him in while you can. I don't know. To me, it's like, and now if I'm the Patriots, I'm saying, fuck it, put all your chips in. Put all your chips. Maybe like 2 weeks ago, we were thinking, oh, this isn't the year. Our window isn't here. I don't know. I just keep looking at the schedule and going, how are we going to lose these games? How are we not going to win 13, 14 games with this schedule? And so if you look at that, you look at the Colts, who I think are pretty real with their point differentials, absolutely wild. And then you look at the Chiefs, who are ascending. So there's definitely going to be some competition, but AFC Championship to me is within the realm of possibilities. So why not push the chips in? Why not push them in?
Because Vrabel's not going to want to give up. He's not going to want to give up a high pick because he wants to draft his guys and develop his culture.
I could see it.
That's what he's going to want to do.
It's also year one. Like it's year one of the culture. It's year one of. We are in year one of a rebuild. Let's be perfectly honest about it. We're in year one of a rebuild. We just turned over now like 55% of this roster is people who were not on it in 2024. That's an insane number. Now,
but does it feel like year one of rebuild? It actually feels like we've kind of
it truthfully doesn't.
The moves we've made, I feel like we're actually in like year 3. Like there's teams that are in year 1 that feel like a true year 1. You need a few more drafts. I feel like we're farther along. I don't know.
Well, we essentially copied what the Commanders did last year, right? We brought the talent, back up to the level of being a standard NFL team, and we happen to have, a top 2 quarterback in the league right now. And that I think we're kind of just feeling that effect. I think that Vrabel and the Patriots are going to want to use their good picks, and they will be moderately good on guys that they are like, okay, these are our guys, just like Will Campbell was their guy, Brycen. But they're going to want to use their picks in the next few years to get their guys in the building to continue rolling, to continue growing. Brycen, what do you feel about that, man? You're giving some looks.
We pushing the chips in or what, Brycen? Tell me, what are we doing? This is Drake-a-Mania. We only have Drake-a-Mania.
Brycen's rolling his eyes. I can't wait to see what he has to say.
I wasn't rolling my eyes. I was just smiling. I'm like always smiling. So, but yeah, PatsPro, when's the last time the Patriots won a Super Bowl with their quarterback who's in his second year?
That would be with Thomas Edward Patrick Brady Jr. in the 2001 season.
Yeah, so I don't like the whole we're in year one of the rebuild thing, because you have what I would call the best quarterback, arguably top 3 quarterback. I mean, I guess I'll give you that in the entire NFL, and they have a team that's good enough to win a Super Bowl. They really do. I've actually said all along that you can win a Super Bowl with Mike Vrabel and Drake Maye, and they can do it in year one. I mean, it's just a matter of how you look at it. See, I look at it as, if I'm trading a first-round pick for Myles Garrett, I'm just drafting Myles Garrett. And to me, that's like a pretty good guy that I would draft in the first round. I mean, that's just my opinion. I'm sure it would take more than that. But I think that they are, judging by the way I've watched them play, and we actually talked about this before on the podcast, how the reason why I was kind of down on Vrabel is because he's a very conservative guy, and meaning he likes to punt, he likes to run the ball a ton, and I've not seen that this year. They've embraced Drake Maye. They're going for on fourth down. They've been one of the teams that's the best actually in making those types of decisions. So it's showing a sort of aggressiveness that you would not expect from a team that would be last year was all oh, Drake Maye is getting ready to walk outside. He needs sunscreen. Let's put a helmet on him. No, it's we're going to unleash him because he's actually this good, and they know it. And I think everyone knows that they could actually, and he's talked about this, they could actually win a lot of games, if not the Super Bowl this year. I mean, it's not crazy to talk about. So we're not really I don't think we're in year one of the rebuild. We're just in year one of the next phase of the championship window, because that's what we're in right now. Actually, we're in the championship window. I think when we look back 3 years from now, you'll be that was when we started the championship window.
Yep. So I might just be scarred after the last 6 years of just absolute shit. So listen, I'm not going to say the window's not open this year. I certainly can't say that we're 6-2. You're never going to catch me saying that. I just there are things that you see that occasionally worry me, and I'm going to continue to be a pessimist because that's just who I am. I'm a typical Rhode Islander. I'm always going to see the bad side of things. But when it comes to Drake Maye, when it comes to Mike Vrabel, you're never going to hear me say anything bad about him, because Dan Rotman is I think we all know who Dan Rotman is, scouted NFL, but he just came up with a stat, and of course I've just lost it, but it was Drake Maye's expected yardage this year is pacing for 4,400 yards and 29 TDs. That's a great season. I think that's fully in play. Then playoffs. Yeah, we could make a move. I think playoffs definitely. Super Bowl, we'll see.
I like it. All right, so this Browns game, boys, I think this theme of we start out slow, we get this team script out, right? We see this time and time again. I was at the Panthers game when this happened. My buddy, who's a season ticket holder, he goes, I don't know if we're going to win many games this year. I'm like, chill. I said, we got to wait a minute. There's a lot of scripting going on right now. Let's see what happens when this runs out. Similar to the Browns game, where we start out where they strike blood first, we come back, score a field goal, right? It just seems like, oh man, this is going to be tough sledding. And like Brycen, you say in your article, it's a come from behind win. We come from behind against one of the best defenses the best statistical defense in the league at pass rush, at coverage, tackling. I mean, you name it. They're across the board as an elite defense. And you have the whole league saying, oh, look who you beat. You beat a bunch of scrubby teams, bad defenses, bad offenses. Granted, the Browns' offense isn't a world beater, but their rushing offense is actually very good. Let's just tack on another running back that we put on there who was probably going to be an all-pro at some point, Quinshon Judkins. We held him to what, 19 yards rushing?
Yeah, 19 yards.
19 yards rushing to Quinshon Judkins. What did we do to James Cook when we played him, by the way, who just ran for 200 against in 2 quarters
like
against the Panthers,
like
30-something yards. What are we going to do to Bijan Robinson, who just got stuffed by the Dolphins, completely stuffed by the Dolphins? So this is where I think the league should be getting put on notice. I love it. This was great in the first quarter. There was people that were saying, oh, this guy's supposed to be better than Patrick Mahomes. I forget who it was, a Chiefs fan. I'm like, oh, this is great. You guys are going to eat all your words, because we've all seen this, right? We've seen the Drake-May show where they make their adjustments second half. McDaniels is dialed in. He's calling out touchdowns before they happen. We've seen that, the Booty clip with him and Booty, saying, all right, 37's backing off. Oh, that's it. He's got him. And then he just calls it. He calls a touchdown. So these guys are all dialed in. They're all talking to each other. I want to talk about one thing. I want to talk about Josh McDaniels and his impact on this offense. There's been a lot of talk on Boston sports media about, who do we give credit to? I'm sorry, but I'm giving a lot of credit to Josh McDaniels.
You
right
have
now.
to.
You have to. I don't know how anyone's talking about anything else. Obviously, Drake-May's playing out of his fucking mind.
His game planning in the third quarter play calling was a masterclass in play calling.
Masterful. We're not scratching our heads anymore. I think he's looking at this like Mike was talking about this earlier. The physical ability of Drake-May, and I don't want to compare him to Tom Brady ever, but the physical ability allows that playbook to be as open as you want. And he's not designing runs, but he's opening up the field, and we have to now the defenses have to defend every single blade of grass. And I don't know, outside of the Randy Moss years, I don't know how often we had that. And so it's amazing.
It was always a dink and dunk offense.
Right.
He would just take what they gave him. He'd take a couple shots here and there, but what Drake's doing is unprecedented as far as balls that travel over 20 yards in the air. It's like never been seen by the Patriots, because we had a different type of quarterback. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying Drake-May is better or anything like that, but he has a different skill set. Like I was talking earlier, he's just bigger, faster, stronger, more athletic. So he friggin' darts that 25 yards down the field with a flip of a wrist. What do you guys think would have happened if Mac Jones tried to make that thing? he would have to like wind up and do a bunch of shortstop steps and step into it like 3 or 4 times, and then it would just arc over and you don't know where it's going to land.
It would be 3 crow hops and it'd be 10 yards short and picked off.
Exactly.
Seriously, but the way the kid throws the football and the way he's learning the nuance of it, as far as dropping in the bucket, layering it in, getting behind the second level of the defense, finding what they like to call the honey hole. They've been talking about that, the cover 2 honey hole in between the boundary corner and the safety. He's mastered that. So every week he gets another tool into his tool bag. He's not a tool bag, but he's got one. He's got a big one. So every week that goes by, and then you got Josh McDaniels over here saying, "You guys haven't seen nothing yet." And I'm like,
I agree.
So I have a take on this. So with McDaniels and Brady, they ran, the quote unquote Patriots offense, which was, as you said, Mike, it was a dink and dunk offense. That's what it was, because Brady had nowhere to go but be in the pocket. With Drake-May, what McDaniels has done, he's really, I think that year of going around colleges, Ohio State, different teams, and seeing what they were doing, really upped his game in terms of how he's going to call an offense now, especially with a quarterback who's so mobile as Drake-May is and who can throw on the run like Drake-May can. We're not seeing the traditional Patriots offense anymore. You'll see a couple of concepts where you're like, oh, I've seen that before. It's typically when they're, they have who is it, Westover in the fullback or whatever his name is, and you're like, oh, I've definitely seen that before. But then you have the naked gun boot off of it, which I don't think I've ever seen them do that. From a game plan perspective, McDaniels has found a way to bring in a lot of West Coast themes that Drake-Maye is comfortable with, but also put him under center. Put him under center, have him run those boot actions, have him run the fakes. Not traditional Patriots offense, the Veer offense or Earhart Perkins, whatever the hell you want to call it. But it's truly the McDaniels offense now. He's blended all of his styles into something that is hyper effective, is willing to take shots because you have the personnel and the quarterback to do it. I think it's so impressive that the Patriots offense finally looks like a 21st century offense. It's great.
Absolutely.
And the pocket is just huge. The pocket is like a huge, like sideways oval, or it's a massive pocket because he can roll out. He has a great pocket awareness to step up, and that's what Brady always had, which that always bought him some extra time. But then he can also roll out and throw on the run, which Brady could do, but not to his extent, not to his a quickness ability and arm strength. Like I think it's all the tools that he has are just superior to Brady. Now Brady's. What's in between his head was his ears was obviously
the clutch factor.
You can't beat that. I mean,
strength.
Brady, from a mental standpoint, no one's ever going to beat him ever again. He was like Einstein running a football system. But one example I like to take about how the offense looks now is Drake's drop back just before he threw the touchdown to Booty, the one where he broke out and ran. He wiggled the guy, just absolutely broke a dude's ankles. I forget who it was. I think it was 44, the dude who intercepted him previously. Broke his ankles. Yeah, Schlesinger. Yeah. Broke his ankles and just went. Brady never did that, but Drake was like, okay, I have a massive hole. I'm going to go take my shot, use my legs, and then that leads to a 39-yard touchdown to Kayshon Boutte. It's just it was a cold shot play when you're already up 2 scores in the third quarter. Josh McDaniels has never done that before.
Right.
And I don't have a problem. I don't have a problem with that, with him running in that particular situation, because it was man coverage and nobody was looking at him, and the middle of the field was wide open. You'd be a fool not to just pick up. He picked up 28 yards on that one play right there.
Yep. I think it was 28 yards. There was no one within 10 yards of him for a good second and a half.
Seriously, but he's learning the nuance of when to be a passer and when to be a scrambler. If he sees trouble, he doesn't bail immediately, and that's a great indication of his pocket awareness. But if he sees an opening where it would be better off for him to just scoot out, even get 2 or 3 yards or something, then he'll go ahead and do that. So he's not like run heavy or anything like that. I think he's run efficient, and it's just opportunistic and takes what the defense gives them.
Brycen, what's your take on the McDaniels offense and Maye and how we're doing?
Look, this is something that I said with Mac Jones for years. It's like when I would argue, it was like I hated Twitter because I would get on there and be like, I hate watching this so bad because it's hard enough to score in the NFL, and it's really hard to score when you have a player that has to be so efficient, because Mac is like first down, second down, third down, first down, right? It's like every down, first, second, third, and you have to complete every third down. And that's that's Brady level doing that. You can't do that. If you
can't sustain it,
If you don't have any explosive plays, you're not going to be a very good football team. And Drake brings the opposite, right? Where it's the Josh Allen factor, where it's the I can score 21 points in 3 plays factor. It's like there's a minute and 30 left. They're like, they're not even talking about scoring, and Drake, I think his last game, just hits the touchdown immediately. It's like like I've been saying, he is arguably the best quarterback in the NFL. And when you are the best at the most valuable thing in the NFL, which is throwing it deep, like those, I know those throws look easy and wide open, but those are not easy throws. Throwing it downfield to Booty like that, right in the bucket, like you just said. I mean,
he makes it look easy, which is scary. He makes it look easy.
Yeah, I would also, he does, which is crazy. But I would also like to, like you guys to think about this for a minute here. Imagine that you take Drake-Maye and you drop him in the 2007 Patriots and what that offense looks like.
Oh my God, dude! Randy Moss would have Randy Moss would have had 50 touchdown receptions.
That's the thing. It's like, I hate to be blasphemous, and I'm the biggest Tom Brady fan.
That's a little blasphemous.
But there are just things on the field that Drake actually just does better than Tom Brady. Now, is he as smart as him? No, probably not. Does he throw on the run better? Definitely. Is his deep ball better? Definitely. I mean, you guys have to remember, for Patriots fans, that this is a guy that he was supposed to go to Alabama. He was supposed to be an Alabama quarterback. He was that kind of guy. His dad was a quarterback. This is an athlete of an athlete's family that is like, they're unprecedentedly loved in North Carolina. Like, he comes from a super, super high pedigree, and that's who he was. He's like, when we went through the draft, it was bonkers to me. Like, me and my friends of other teams were like, there's no way the Patriots are getting Drake Maye. He's going 1. This is stupid. And I was like, no, just watch. He'll drop. And so this is like the number 1 pick in almost every other year. This is a blue chip player who you've got at quarterback now. And I think it's great that Josh trusts him, and so does Mike Vrabel, and we're seeing the offense tailored to that. It's really awesome. But a lot of it is just a product of, you have a really awesome quarterback who the coaches trust, which is, they can do anything with him now, which is great. And, remember when we would watch Brady and it would be like the ball would never hit the ground, or like you never worried about like the ball hitting the ground or hitting some defender's hands. And when it did, you were like, man, I don't know what kind of magic that defender just did, right? Like, I said this a couple games ago, we're now in Drake territory where he's playing to that level of the good Brady days. Not saying that he's a Hall of Famer right now, but he's playing to that level, which is best quarterback in the league type level, right? Which is, you can win a Super Bowl that way. Like, I'm just really excited about it. I hope that people can appreciate that. It's not saying like Brady's bad, because he's obviously the GOAT. I'll argue for him all day. I'm not saying Drake is better, but Brady always played at top quarterback level. Drake is playing at top quarterback level. That's what we're watching right now, which is awesome. And you got to give credit to Josh McDaniels, like you said there. So,
he tailors his offense to play to the strengths of whoever he's trying to do.
Did it with Cam Newton.
Well, yeah, of course, exactly.
That's a great example, right?
He completely changed his whole
Cam Newton's arm.
He changed the whole offense around, so it just speaks to the versatility of Josh McDaniels to cater to his players' strengths, and he's really catering to Drake Mays right now. But I see we have a comment here where Michael Rodnick, shout out Mike.
Oh gosh, said, is this his second of 3 questions, Mike? Really?
it might be. Who knows? But it's something that has been talked about for the past for the past several weeks now. We brought it up. I'd like to think we were some of the first people that brought it up when I heard that Milton Williams interview a couple weeks ago, when he was like, "Yes, I know we don't have their scripts because they're playing all these different things we haven't seen. Once we calm down after the 15 plays, then we're going to be all right," which is true. He's been correct on that. But what do you guys think? Like, what can we do to mitigate that fast start by the opposing offense when we don't know exactly what's coming? What's there to do to correct that in order for it to not continue to happen?
So for me, and Brycen, I'm sorry to step on your toes, man, but I have to get it out. For me, I think you just have to play a little bit more of man coverage in your early game plan. I don't think zone is the way to go, especially with your backfield playing the way it is with Gonzalez and newly paid Marcus Jones. I think more man coverage, more loaded boxes, pressure. And I think that'll pay off, because when you look at after they've gotten all their scheme, whatever designs out of the way, the opposing offense, you have to give credit to the Patriots scouting and research team, because they are locked in on what they want to do once their schemes are once their designs and schemes are done. They know what their game plan is going to be. So let's put their schemes to the test. Let's just man them up, just pray that they can beat you, because that's what it's going to have to be. You've got arguably the best corner in the world, Christian Gonzalez. You've got 2 of the best defensive tackles in Christian Barmore and Milton Williams. And let's see if we can get Harold Landry's, maybe like a design stunt like Judon used to do back in the days. I mean, let's get some pressure. Let's test them, especially these bad quarterbacks. Give them some pressure, test them, stop making them look like friggin' Pro Bowlers. That's my rant.
Yeah, the first 2 drives. Yeah, I agree. Brycen, what do you think?
Well, if you guys have ever played pickup basketball and you're on like the really, really good team, the other team's like clearly not as good, which is how every Patriots game has been. And it's like the first 5 minutes of the game, you're just like, why are we down 20-0? This team stinks and we're awesome. Let's lock in. And then it's 100-20, right? That's kind of what it always feels like to me, because like we just talked about, they have an awesome quarterback. They do have great personnel on defense. And I just think it's a matter of focus, right? That's what it seems like, because after the first drive or two, it's like lock in, let's go. And they just need a couple. And it's almost like they need to produce some adversity for themselves, because, like we just talked before, these fans of other teams that are talking bad about the Patriots and they're not beating anyone, they're clobbering teams. Like, it's not close. It's not like they're winning 20, like they beat the Bills 23-20, but they're not like barely beating the Browns or the Panthers. They're clobbering them. So they're going into these games against these teams who clearly do not match up at quarterback. Everyone knows that. They clearly don't match up as teams. And they're walking into this and they're did you see how Mac Hollins walked in? Like, he was wearing a chess piece costume. Like, come on.
He was a bishop. He was walking diagonally.
He was walking only diagonally.
Fun,
that was unbelievable.
That guy is a character.
Oh, yeah.
Character.
I would just also like to say that I said when he punted that ball in practice, like, this was the beginning of something really freaking awesome. And everyone was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe Mac Hollins is doing this. He should be
I remember that tweet. I remember thinking that you were crazy for saying that.
And it was awesome. But that's what he said. That's what Mac Hollins said. He said, I did not like the way we were playing out there. I wanted to
get some juice in.
And ever since then, lock in. But that's all it is. Just lock in a little bit. We'll see when they play better teams how it goes. I think you'll see a much different team, to be honest. I think this is just a matter of they have a very, very long schedule of boring games. Like imagine us. We've had to work ourselves up to like be excited for these games because the Patriots are finally winning. But at the end of the day, they are playing teams like the Browns and the Panthers and the Falcons coming up. Like, it's hard to win those stretches of games, like testament to them, but you have to get up and win the games. And then,
I don't want to hear about strength of schedule. I really don't, because
you just played the number one defense with the number one defensive player in the league and you toasted them.
Yeah, they didn't just lose by.
You allowed 5 sacks and you still friggin' roasted these guys.
Won by 19.
Style points matter. Margin of victory matters. I know it doesn't matter as much as it does in college football, but for our purposes, margin of victory does matter, because good teams are supposed to beat up on the lesser teams. Right. They're not supposed to squeak. If they were squeaking them out, we'd be like, oh, a win is a win is a win. But, and justify it that way. But now we're beating people at 19, 20 points at a clip. And it's like, all right, this is what a good team actually does. They step on the neck of a lesser team, and I expect that to continue. My only reservation about the whole thing is one of these days, those slow starts is going to come back to bite them in the ass. They might lose by a field goal or something because of the slow starts. You never know. But on Sundays, anybody can beat anybody. So I don't want to hear that we had all this lesser competition, because you see underdogs all the time.
Yeah, look at the Jets just beat the Bengals. Look at the Dolphins just handily beat the Falcons.
And the Falcons beat the Bills a couple weeks ago.
There's a lot of
Patriots beat the Bengals last year.
Yeah.
So I don't want to hear about strength of schedule. You play what the schedule dictates that you play, and they're playing at the highest ability. So that whole conversation to me is out the window right now.
I think the other thing too about the early game script, the way I see teams beating us is tight ends. First of all, first, second, third. I've seen third tight ends. It was the Panthers. They're working Tremble, and who are these guys? These random tight ends.
Nobody heard of.
Right, and they're all running in behind other people, so they're like clearing out and then throw a tight end the other way. So it seems like it's like you were saying, PatsPro, and maybe it's a more of a man focus in the beginning to say, all right, we're not going to allow you to manipulate our zones. We're going to play and to just trust our one-on-one matchups, and that we're going to get after it more. I don't know what the answer is, but to me, it's like we're getting beat by these random no-name players in the beginning. I don't know who it was on the Browns, 83. Fannin, we know Fannin's a stud. Fannon's a stud, but then there was the other receiver. I think it was like 83 or something. It's like, who the fuck is this guy? But again, running in, slipping behind players, and like you said,
Malachi Corley, is that who
I don't know, okay. But it doesn't matter. I think that could be a tricky part of the answer is trusting your man early and creating pressure through stunting and various exotic blitzes early. Maybe that's the answer. I don't know. Maybe they're playing too loose, right? Maybe they're like, all right, just keep it in front of us. Let's watch them. Let's not fuck up too much. Maybe they're being a little too conservative in the beginning. Maybe that's the answer. I don't know.
Well, what you are seeing is that, I'm sorry, first of all, the run defense is second to none. And
for sure.
We all know all that.
Lights out.
But they're having some problems with the pass rush. They're getting pressures, but they're not getting home, not getting on sacks. So I think that's one of the things that they should clean up, and maybe the first 15 will go better.
Go get them.
Oh yeah, Joe wants Miles. Should we non sequitur into Joe wanting Myles Garrett?
You want this guy to get better? Put him in practice every day against Myles Garrett.
Jeez.
Let's go.
He got beaten up, but he's gonna have nightmares about that guy.
I love Myles Garrett. I love him as a player. I don't love $40+ million a year. I just don't.
Hell no.
I'm in.
And 2 first rounders is something you're gonna have to give up.
Sold 3% valued at $9 billion. He just crowdfunded
9% now.
$300 million. Was it
9% now? Because he sold to like some sort of Saudi firm, I think, and somebody
he sold another 6. Another 6.
I think it's up to 9%.
Holy.
So yeah, he's cash.
Why wouldn't he sell to Brady at the time?
Unbelievable.
He told Brady no, and Brady had to go get a part ownership in the Raiders. And now this guy's, for the first time, farming out pieces of his franchise. Why didn't he just do that with Brady? I don't
because
understand.
Mark Davis was willing to give Brady more than what Brady would pay, because Brady had to go in with a partner, and the partner was a silent partner backing Brady essentially. And Mark Davis was like, okay, you can pay X amount of dollars and you'll get X amount, but what Brady paid was not equivalent to the percentage that he got.
There you go. That's excellent context. That answers my question. It makes me
so I'm going to hedge that and say I think that's why. I think that's why.
So the Browns suck. I don't want to spend any more time talking
thoroughly
about the
suck.
Browns.
They suck real bad.
The Browns are awful. And you know what? The Falcons don't look any better. They have Michael Penix, who is hurt. They have Drake London with granny hips. Something going on with his hips. Who knows?
Oh,
and
great.
Hip dysplasia. He's like a German Shepherd.
Yeah, exactly. And then you got I think one of their defensive end is hurting right now too. So they got some injury problems.
And then they have
Bijan just got stuffed. Kyle Pitts is hot garbage. Bijan got stuffed. I think Bijan ran for like 30 yards against the Dolphins. Like, imagine I don't own Bijan in any fantasy leagues, but imagine starting Bijan against the Dolphins and getting 30 something yards. Like,
it hurt real bad. I can tell you from experience, it hurt real bad.
Yeah.
So, you have him. Good. Okay, so at least we have the first-hand knowledge. But yeah, so we're playing the Falcons, boys. Brycen, what do you think about the Falcons? Give me a rundown.
Listen, I just said it. I know you guys don't want to hear this, but in the NFL, it's really hard, no matter who your opponent is, to win games every week, especially again and again and again and again and again and again. And I think that's a contributing factor to these slow starts. And so you have another team like the Falcons. And my thought is in this game is just get out with a win. I don't care what it looks like. Get out with a win. And, obviously don't overlook them, because the next week is probably one of the Patriots' biggest game of the year against the Bucs. So, this game against the Falcons, could be a sloppy one. If it's not, awesome. But I just think that I'm every week I've been waiting for that extreme, and it seems like we are getting those sloppy first, second quarters. I've just been waiting for that first, second, third, fourth quarter depression of the Patriots play. But the thing is that's crazy is the more the Patriots get down, the more they have to activate Drake-May, and he's been league best at doing that kind of stuff this year. So it actually kind of has really worked in their favor, where they're backed into a corner and there's Drake-May to booty. So that's kind of really what I expect again this week. I think we probably see a slow start. We probably see the Patriots come back, and we probably see the defense look a little bit better this week. I think they'll get it together, but
And it's exciting to me. Our foundation is ground and pound. You got to start with the run and then build off of the run. But when Drake May drops back to pass like 5 or 6 times in a row, you can't tell me that's not super exciting, because you don't know what's going to happen, and it's usually a positive play. And in the past several years where I've been afraid of third downs, desperately afraid of third downs, because I automatically assumed we weren't going to make it, I'm looking forward to third downs this year. I can't even believe it.
It could be a touchdown. It could be a first down.
Josh's third down bag is deep, and Drake keeps executing it. And I think Stephon Diggs has a lot to do with that. I think he's the perfect chain mover in those possession type of conversion situations. But it's fun again to watch a team go a little bit pass happy. I love it. It's an exciting brand of football. We haven't seen it in a long time.
Something that I have mistakenly backed into is when Drake May does that Drake May shit on 3rd and 4th downs. It's magical. You got to call him Drake Mage. He's like a fucking wizard back there. It's tremendous.
I like it.
So every time he does some of that Drake May magical shit, he gets called Drake Mage from now on. That's just what it is. But to your point, Mike, I mean, third down, his efficiency on 3rd and 4th down is, to me, second to none.
Yep.
And it's just whenever, like, what was it? Last game where they had that false start penalty by Hunter Henry. There was like 3rd and 22. Drake, for some reason, the Browns played man, but Drake just comes back, boop, 19 yards, Kayshon Boutte, put him back in field goal range. Like, even if you're not getting your first down, you're still getting a positive play to put yourself in position to score points.
That was a great play.
I love that play. He didn't get nervous. There was no sweat. It was just like, okay, yep, all right, and Boutte, cool, and let's call timeout and go in the half with points.
This Falcons defense, though, it does have the ability to be very Jekyll and Hyde. I've seen them play pretty masterful defensive games. They have some great corners. They drafted 2 edge players. They definitely have some players on the defensive side that could throw us some fits. The thing that gives me a little hope, or a lot of hope, is what we just did to the Browns, right? And the Browns are far superior to the Falcons. But their offense is a lot more competent. If Michael Penix is playing, if he's healthy, Kirk Cousins just showed that he probably doesn't belong starting in the NFL right now. Completely washed. Although he's asking for a trade. He wants to be traded to be a starter somewhere, which I think is wild.
Nobody's going to do that.
Yeah, I don't know who. Maybe the Browns. Who knows? But it's interesting to me. I think the defense is worse. The offense is better. We've shown what we can do against rushers. So I don't know. I don't see Bijan rushing against us, which is crazy. Starting the year, that was my biggest fear, is what's this team's rush defense going to look like? And here we are, having allowed a 50-yard rusher, which I saw a stat today. That hasn't happened in the first 8 games since like 1950.
Yeah.
Which is wild just to think
at least since the Super Bowl era. Yeah. It's like,
so I don't think that starts with Bijan. I know they have some line problems as well, but if they don't have a healthy quarterback, they're going to try to probably lean on the run, but I just don't see them having success. So I don't know.
Another comeback.
Another comeback. Let's go. How many comebacks
on top of comebacks on top of comebacks?
People are so mad about this, by the way. NFL Twitter is like, they're so angry that like we've done this, so we have to continue this no matter what. Like, they have to continue this. 3-0 comeback.
3-0 comeback.
Just can't wait for the article on Monday morning. Another comeback from these comeback Patriots. 3-0 was not too much for Drake May, the Patriots, to overcome this time.
Very true, Rodnick. It's been a while since 3rd down doesn't feel like an automatic 4th down. Now 4th down doesn't feel like an automatic punt. Yeah, absolutely. And 4th downs, we're going for it at, I think, like I don't even know, 80-something, 90% clip.
Well, this also speaks.
I just saw a stat. It's upwards of 80% that we're going for it.
Yeah, he's up there with Dan Campbell. Literally, it's like a chart, and it's like in the top right, it's Dan Campbell and Mike Vrabel.
This is the X factor when it comes to that stuff in situational football. Is that guy John Stretcher, who is Mike Vrabel's right-hand man. It has his hand in everything, and he's the chief strategist on Sundays on telling Vrabel down distance, where to go, what to do, how to challenge these brilliant challenges that he's been doing.
Yep.
That's
Ice the
John
game.
Stretcher.
Yep.
That guy
Yep.
is his right-hand man, and he's been absolutely invaluable to the overall direction of the unit. So I'm going to put credit where credit is due with that guy. Nobody knows who he is. Nobody knows what he does. He's kind of like
he's Ernie Adams.
Yeah, he's kind of like what Ernie Adams was.
He's Pink Stripes.
That was going to be a point of mine
earlier
earlier about the defense. John Stryker, they call him Stretch. He is like the Ernie Adams. I'm pretty sure he's got his cards. He's, and seeing what these teams are doing. He is like an analytics guy without being an analytics guy. He's like Ernie was. He understands football at a high level, and he helps Mike make the decisions that need to be made.
Love it.
It's an X factor. It speaks to all the extra little things that Mike Vrabel is doing. And, I'm sure you guys heard he brought back individual introductions in the games now instead of like opening as a whole team.
As groups, yeah.
So they started that in 2001, which at that time was great. But Vrabel is so player oriented. He wants to give power back to the players, and he wants them to express themselves in a positive way. So that's why he brings us back to get these guys some extra swag, to give them a little more juice when they get to run out of that tunnel solo. So it's just a litany of different little things that he does. Like he stands outside of the locker room after the game,
high five,
and waits for every single guy to get into the locker room, shakes their hand, pat, dap, hug, handshake, gets every guy in the room, and then he goes and addresses the room. Like that's a friggin' guy that you want to play for. No wonder why these guys are galvanized right now. You'd run through a brick wall for this friggin' guy because his caring of his staff and his team is tangible. It's tangible. It's actually real results that actually happen.
What about the X's and O's though, Mike? What about Ben Johnson? What about
Ben Johnson's an X's and O's guy. I don't think he's a very good.
He's not a player's guy though. For
Man,
sure.
have you seen the Ben Johnson effect on Caleb Williams? Gosh, Caleb Williams looks very, very much the same.
Very much the same, right? He looks like trash.
Last year. Yeah, I mean, he doesn't look like trash. It's just like he looks unprepared.
He misses so many open throws. So many open throws he misses.
He's undisciplined.
He is very undisciplined. Brycen, I know you're a big Ben Johnson guy. Just to go off on a tangent, what's your opinion about Ben Johnson right now?
I mean, I think that he's in a bad situation with Caleb Williams. I mean, I think that's
fair.
I think it's really hard to tie yourself to a player like Caleb Williams. Although, based on what I'm seeing, he's like kind of doing the best he can. But it's rough guys. Not Drake-Mayenia, that's for sure. But
so Drake-Mayenia would have gone number 1 overall last year if we know now what we knew then.
That's a given.
100%.
Drake-Mayenia would go number 1 overall in the last 3 or 4 quarterback drafts.
Yeah.
I agree. Mike Rodnick got another comment about our take on those who want a true wide receiver 1 on this team. I don't think it's necessary. I think Drake-Mayenia has great chemistry with the rotation of guys that he has. They're getting better and better every week. I don't think if we're going to make a splash play, it's for the other positions we mentioned first and not wide receiver. I don't know what you guys think about that.
Yeah, this is something I've been thinking about for 10 minutes is in the off season, when the Patriots finally get a wide receiver, that's awesome that we've been clamoring for. For me personally, in 2018, I was like, please trade for Stephon Diggs. This is what we need, right? And then they finally get him. And the Patriots comes around a wide receiver that's actually good, and they cannot handle 5 minutes of him before wanting him off the team. I don't know if you guys remember this. Do you guys remember this?
Do.
It was Stephon Diggs, he needs to be off the team. He needs to be off the team. And now you can clearly see he's a true leader on the team. He's been awesome. He's been a true pro. I mean, I just saw a clip where he's in there with Demario Douglas, and he's talking about how Douglas cuts back instead of keep going on the run, the big throw, and Douglas is like making some excuse, and Diggs is like, I don't want to hear that. I mean, I just love
absolutely.
this guy. And I actually in my chat we have someone who has Diggs in fantasy, and he's one of those guys that's super obsessed with fantasy. So he's like, come on, throw the ball to Diggs, throw the ball to Diggs, throw the ball to Diggs. And so when you're focused on something that much, you actually will come up with some astute points. And I do listen to him because then I start noticing it's like they don't even really use him like as much as they could. And when they do though, he looks like one of the best receivers in the NFL. Like legitimately. Drake, you can tell Drake will only throw the ball to players that he trusts. That's why he's going to Diggs, he's going to Booty, he's going to Henry. He doesn't like Kyle Williams for the same reason that we've talked about. There's no trust there.
Kyle Williams can't get open.
I don't think Kyle Williams can. I don't know if it's the option routes.
He's not there yet.
He's not there yet. He's not. He's not.
Even with his open, Drake doesn't look his way. Like he's just not. But you have
knows
that
he's not going to be there.
You don't need I personally would a couple weeks ago I was like, man, it'd be awesome if AJ Brown was on this team. But I kind of agreeing with you guys right now. Like Booty looks really great. And you have Douglas in the slot, who I do like. I've always liked. And then you have Diggs, who they're not even really using as much as they should. I think we're going to see as we get into that stretch in the playoffs where they go Diggs, because when they really need it, guys, if you remember the last couple of games, the Bills game, Diggs, unstoppable, right? Yep.
I can't say enough about the guy. Now I'm going to come clean on something. When we first signed him, Joe and I hated it.
At the very onset, we were like,
"You weren't
alone." I'm not afraid to admit it. I'm like, this guy I saw the sideline spats with Josh Allen. It's the last thing I want is for him to spoil my young quarterback's mind. But he went to Houston. He was a model citizen. He comes over to the Patriots, and he's been an absolute revelation for this team. Like, he should have been a permanent captain. He's like a game day captain sometimes, but he does the pregame speeches, and he gets that whole wide receiver room ready to go. I think the whole wide receiver room is better because of Diggs' presence in it.
They look to him.
He's a vet. Sure. He's a crafty vet, and he wants to help. And as far as on the field, I've told you this several different times. I personally think the guy can get open anytime he wants, especially on third downs when he's in the slot and he finds the soft zones. He's a master at shaking somebody and sitting down. And you could do that all day long if you want to. I hate the fact that he's only playing 50%. I don't know if they're still ramping him up, but when I see him move, I don't see any limitations or anything like that. I think it mainly has to do with the running game, and that's why Matt Collins is stealing his snaps away. Because, when you see Matt Collins lined up tight to the formation, it's pretty much going to be a run, So they have a specific package for both those different guys. But Stephon Diggs, down the stretch, is going to get more and more important. And when we make the playoffs, he's going to be a friggin' go-to guy because he's clutch and he's a vet and he knows what it takes to get there. I am very, very high on him, and I eat my words and I take it back. I'm sorry, Steph, that I didn't want you around. You've completely proved me wrong. So I appreciate you helping my guys out.
We came around quick, though. It was like a few days, and we were like, listen, all right, so we know what he did in Houston. We know he was a model citizen.
We started seeing what he was doing.
And we said, you know what? Every video we see, he's locked in. He seems like he's just all about the comeback. So we turned it around pretty quick.
That's different. Phil Perry saw him all summer and chose.
Oh, that was terrible.
He's not good anymore, and he needs to be off.
Oh, and that was after the Vikings joint practices where he was roasting people. And I'm like, Phil Perry is clearly.
He's not that good. I don't know.
I think Phil got the order from the bosses. He was like, "Hey, we need some juice."
Well, and he wasn't giving love to the reporters, right? That was the main thing. He wasn't giving love to them, so he was like, you know what? Fuck it, we'll throw some shade at him.
Oh, so scary. Reporters.
Yeah, right.
So my main
like
point,
the mafia.
My main point for the legit wide receiver one, would be the Patriots have gotten to the point where none of their receivers are really fantasy viable, and that's exactly where you want to be because it's just
I'm good. Yeah, I'm
distributed
good.
to the open man.
Hell yeah.
It doesn't matter who it is. Just if you're open, the ball's going to you because we have a quarterback who can identify who that's going to be. There's no, favoritism. I mean, listen, I fucking love AJ Brown. Love him. I loved him at Ole
Should have
Miss.
drafted him.
I loved
Don't
him.
get me started.
I loved him over DK Metcalf. That's how much I loved AJ Brown. I was so mad that we didn't draft him. We drafted that piece of shit.
He was too. He wanted to
N'Keal
come here.
Harry.
He
I
wanted
know.
to come here.
But it's just when he's just so full of. I don't know if it's the Eagles. I don't know if it's him because like you didn't hear about this shit in Tennessee, but like now that he's on the Eagles and it's drama all the time, and I don't know if that's a manufactured like a Philly media thing. I don't know what it is, but Savage, what's up, buddy? But
Savage,
it's just,
let's go. Good shout out,
We're gonna get the
Savage.
Savage bump.
Appreciate you, buddy.
But it's just like I don't want him on this team right now. I don't want to upset the balance that we have, and it is a balance. We have so many different types of players on this team, so many different type of characters on this team. They've gelled together. You can't take.
All.
I trust them all. You can't take snaps away from
Yeah.
Kayshon Boutte. You can't take snaps away from Pop Douglas, Mac Hollins, or Stephon Diggs. You just can't do it.
The tight ends, I mean, Hunter Henry and Hooper, they always come up with big plays. I
Yeah.
mean, I feel like
Who
we
are you
have
taking
everything we
snaps
need.
from that makes sense, truthfully.
Right.
I don't know who you're doing it from. So for me, fuck the wide receiver one. I want an edge rusher. I want somebody who's going to create pressure on the defensive side of the ball, who's going to
100%.
affect the opposing quarterback, who's going to, generate turnovers, generate sacks. That's where you need the help right now. You need it so your offense can get on the field and start fucking shit up.
I'm with you.
Hell yeah.
If we get Myles Garrett, I'm streaking to the quads. I don't know where the quads are, but I'm streaking to them. I will find them.
We're going to streak across the quad up to the gymnasium.
Run 35 miles down 95, go to URI, find the quad, and go streaking.
Hell yeah. No, streak the whole way. Anyways, all right. So, boys, we're at an hour over here. Falcons game. I need predictions. Brycen, start with you.
Listen, for the longest time on my old podcast, when OB and I would do the podcast, every time we predicted the game, we never predicted the Patriots to lose, no matter what. Every game, it was always a win, and it was always 35-17. And this was our running joke. And he would laugh. He would laugh every time he would ask, "What's the score?" And he would laugh every time, and people would love it, 35-17. And so we've kind of made the joke in recent years. It's like, if they scored 35 points in 3 games, I would be happy. But now we're back at that point. We're back at the point where we can start saying 35-17. So it's going to be 35-17.
Oh my! If it's 35-17, good Lord! Oh my God!
Put a bet in on that just in case, Brycen. I'm gonna go.
See it, though.
Oh, I could definitely see it. I'm gonna go a little bit more conservative. I'm gonna say it's Patriots 20, Falcons 13. I don't know why.
Right.
I just feel like it's going to be, one of those cagey affairs, or maybe Patriots go up early, Falcons make a valiant effort, but the defense is just too much. I don't know how it's going to go. I just think it's going to be tight, and I do think the Patriots pull it out, but I think it's going to be tight.
All right,
I agree. I have it at 27-20 Patriots. I think portions of this game might end up being a rock fight. And I have to mitigate the fact that the first half, I'm not expecting them to correct it overnight or anything. So I'm anticipating another slow start, trading some field goals, but in the second half, pulling away and getting a couple extra scores that we need. 27-20 is tighter than I would like, but I think it's a realistic thing. So I'm going with that.
Yeah, I definitely see some field goals. I think they can move the ball, especially in the first half. I'm gonna go 31-21. Sorry, 31-20, because I do think they're gonna score probably 2 field goals. So 31-20.
And there it is, folks. Write it down, take a picture, get it into.
I'm rooting for 35-17, though. I'm rooting for that.
35-17.
If it's 35-17, I'm pants off.
You know, after
that's
how
way
they
more
played
fun.
for the last couple weeks, 35-17 feels like It's like, it's not that exciting. They could score 50, right?
Yeah.
It's just the ease in which we've dropped 30 in consecutive weeks is very surprising. Like, this team is all of a sudden a team that can drop 30 at a drop of a hat. And when they make a lot of mistakes and don't play a great game, that's the sign of a good team. So if you can overcome those mistakes and still blow somebody out, then you have a lot more leeway for yourself. So I hope they limit their mistakes here. But I also think that Atlanta's going to give them a little bit of a fight for some reason, if for no other reason, because they beat the Bills. I know they just got trounced by Miami, but they did beat the Bills. So they have some kind of juice. I'm not afraid of any of them. I'm not afraid of Bijan Robinson. We've been bottling people up. We're going to make that guy a priority to make sure to bottle him up. Penix or Cousins, I'm not afraid of those guys.
Yeah. And then you look at Drake London, who's banged up. You look at Darnell Mooney could be a shocker because, he at any point he can be a deep ball threat. So you could see him scoring early. Kyle Pitts is absolute trash, but tight ends have given us problems. So again, this is where that, come from behind mentality comes in. I could see it. I could see us going down early on some dumb plays within that script. And then, we put the foot on the gas. So
I'm with you.
All right, boys. Well, it's been a pleasure. Brycen, thank you so much for coming on. PatsPro, thank you so much for coming on. And follow us on Twitter. We're all on Twitter at LFG PatsPod. Brycen's on Twitter, PatsPro. PatsPro puts out a great podcast. Brycen puts out great articles. Make sure you read those. They're great. But yeah, thank you guys for coming on. Appreciate it.
And we'll do it again sometime.
Thanks for having me, boys. Thanks for having us. Really appreciate it.
Absolutely.
All right. And as always, let's fucking go. Go get Myles Garrett right now. Go get Myles Garrett. Go get him. Go get him now.